you can see inflow, was just talking about more of the client insights. We didn't touch too much on that. And question just being around, what we talked about reports or having the client involved, what does that really mean? And so the client does have access to something like inflow. We're cloud-based, and that's intentional, right? Not only just to share or collaborate the documents that we talk about, but we also can share a lot of the actual dashboard, some of the visualizations we've shown you, whether that be the pictures, you can actually share to bring that client in to facilitate that conversation, right? They don't see any of the testing, they don't see any of the documentation, you don't want them to, but we also, an extension of sharing dashboards, we have the ability to generate reports. And so some of these are different by phase, planning and completion, for instance, but you can see here we have an audit planning report. These are the types of things that, again, it's going to ask for a couple of salient information, right? Who this is going to, effectively some of the target dates, but the idea is that it's actually going to produce, in the interest of time, this Word document that you can see here that comes through, and it's effectively, like I said, it's using data to really drive this of, we're capturing a lot of the information that needs to go into a planning report of effectively what risks are identified, right? And that risk and response, how you're going to respond to them, effectively who's on the team, when dates and milestones are. We're capturing all of that from a workflow standpoint. We might as well populate it into a document that you can share as part of that kind of initial planning with your end clients. I know I could probably zoom in a little bit just to help show. But then we also have some as well of, when we talk about client insights, the planning report, that's not very client insight driven. It's automation, shows them some, but detect, for instance, what we talked about today of kind of looking for the riskier transactions. Some of those pictures, visualizations might be impactful to share with the client, right? Because you might want to have a conversation with them. And so the ability to come in and actually, I'm going to use hybrid intelligence here just to actually click a bunch, but it's going to go through and effectively identify kind of the wildest, or what I'll say is the prettiest pictures. And so then you can actually then generate a report that will then populate. We can open this up and share this. It'll come into Word so you can tailor it. But rather than just putting pictures into a Word document, it really walks through where did it come from, as well as really documenting, capturing, in this case, starting data points about the information, right? Kind of almost giving you that salient and qualitative and quantitative about what transactions, what was the min max, kind of high users, etc. And as this is opening them up, I'll show this, and it will be the last thing that we're able to probably show. But very quickly, you can see that this pulls into a report that's going to walk through, as I mentioned, really starting to pull in some of the salient. Here's the total amount of transactions or general ledger activity. Here they are. Here are some of the pictures that jumped out. And you can actually use this to start driving insights, right? Potentially suggestions on cross-selling service lines, or just really informing or differentiating yourself with your client.